Hey there, metalheads, prog freaks, and jazz aficionados. Welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea Tranquility. I am your host, Pete Pardo, publisher and CEO of SOT. Today is Monday, November the 28th. Hope all of you folks here in the U.S. had a great Thanksgiving Day weekend, long weekend. Lots of eating, lots of festivities, spending time with friends and family. That's what it's all about. But, you know, work week begins. Here we are kind of counting down the days to Christmas. And as you know, we've had a lot of really cool new releases coming out recently. We've got a ton of them today to get through. And then we're probably going to have one more regular episode before we start doing the normal end-of-year best-of type of thing. We'll be at Rock Fantasy in a couple of weeks with a few guest stars to talk about all of our end-of-the-year favorites. And then I'll be here right before Christmas with my top picks of the year. So let's just get right started. We've got the brand new solo release from Glenn Hughes. It's called Resonate. Got it going on in the background. Frontiers Records. You know, Glenn Hughes been a pretty busy guy last bunch of years, you know. Black Country Communion, California Breed. He's gotten back. Those two bands haven't really worked out like he wanted it to, so he's back doing the solo stuff, although Black Country Communion is going to be recording another album. I think they're already in the process of doing it, or at least writing songs. That's coming out next year. But for now, we've got this wonderful solo album. Again, it's on Frontiers Records. You know, the voice of rock. What can you say? The guy in his mid-60s still sounds as good as he did when he was in his 20s. And this album rocks hard. It's got that funky edge, which we've always liked from Glenn Hughes, but more importantly, it's powerful vocals, heavy riffs, it's rocking, great grooves, you know, the drill, heavy flow, My Town, Let It Shine, God of Money, Man, Stumble and Go, Long Time Gone, just one strong tune after another. No slowing down from Mr. Hughes. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year. Get it. As you can hear, he still sounds great. Check this out.
This is my time, there's no division. This is my time, this is my love, this is my soul.
It's coming.
This is my time. This is my love. Can't you see?
You know, this guy is just a rock and roll treasure. There's no other way about it. All right, from Glenn Hughes, we're now going to move to what for many was a much anticipated release. For some, not so much, because this band kind of, you know, I always like to when I talk about this band, it seems kind of like how the mighty have fallen, although they're still, in the eyes of the majority, are still pretty mighty. Of course, I'm talking about Metallica. Hardwired to Self-Destruct is their latest 2-disc set. Special edition has 3 discs. You know, the guys have been away for like 8 years. Death Magnetic was their last, you know, full band release. We're not going to talk about that whole, you know, Lulu thing. We're just going to... Death Magnetic was sort of a return to form, somewhat. Not the greatest produced album in the world, but some decent songs that harken back to, like, you know, Injustice for All, Masters of Puppets type of thing. To some, they've sounded a little forced in recent years, like they're trying too hard to get back to that early sound, but really that's what everybody wants to hear. This one kind of continues on that way. You know, there's some really good tunes here. You know, there's like 2 camps. There's some folks who have been kind of casual fans who think this is great, and there are those who were big fans back in the day, but really have gotten tired of the Metallica routine over the last 20 years or so. That just are not digging this at all, and it's just basically like another album in a line of crap. You know, I'm kind of on the fence. There's actually a lot to like on here. Granted, this is no Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets or even Injustice for All. However, this is Metallica trying to do what they do best and for the most part succeeding at it. You know, there's some really good tunes on here. You know, Atlas Rise is great. Moth into Flame is excellent. Halo on Fire, Confusion I like a lot. Murder Once, Spit Out the Bone. You know, there's 2 tracks here that kind of have that like battery feel. Spit Out the Bone and Hardwired are perfect examples. Some of it is more kind of slow and plodding, almost doomy, which, you know, again, that Injustice for All type of vibe. A lot of really long songs. You know, the funny thing is this is a double-disc set, but it's, you know, they could have fit all this on one CD, maybe omitting a track or 2. There's a couple tunes that are a little on the generic side, but, you know, overall, the band sounds pretty good. The production's good. Guitars are big and fat and heavy. Hetfield sounds good on the vocals. You know, Hammett's doing his thing. You know, he's not trying anything different. He's just, you know, these wild and crazy, wild, wild drenched solos is just what he does, and you know, I kind of dig it. You know, is it classic Metallica? Maybe not, but if you still kind of have a somewhat of a soft spot for Metallica and you haven't completely written them off, there's a lot to like on here. So you know what? I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Some, you know, I've looked around the internet. Some have been a little more, you know, giving them a little bit more. Some a lot less. I know folks who are just slamming this and just do not like it at all, but I know some who really like it a lot. So you be the judge. So, you know, we're talking there about a legacy classic thrash band, one of the greats, right? I think one of the reasons why so many fans have been kind of like giving them a lot of shit in recent years, because a lot of their kind of, you know, the bands that came out around the same time that also made a huge impact, specifically in the Bay Area, are still kind of doing it and doing it well. You know, Megadeth, Slayer's still putting out, you know, really heavy material, Anthrax, Overkill, and a little band called Testament. So Brotherhood of the Snake is their latest release for Nuclear Blast Records. And a lot of the reasons why some folks can't accept this as like really good modern day thrash is because this just completely kicks its ass. I mean, there's no other way to say it. This is a monster album, okay? This is, you know, you got your riffs are ferocious. Chuck Billy's vocals are heavy. Gene Hoglan on drums, Steve Giorgio on bass, you know, Alex Skolnick still there on lead guitar. You know, like I said, Chuck Billy, and you've got, oh man, I'm forgetting his name. Hold on. Eric Peterson, sorry. He's been a mainstay in this band forever. He's so underrated. I mean, there are just top to bottom kick-ass songs throughout this. It's so heavy. Title track, The Pale King, Seven Seals, Born in a Rut, Stronghold, Blackjack. I mean, the number game, it's super crunchy, super heavy, neck snapping, thrash metal at its finest. In 2016, it doesn't get much better than this. Okay, from there, we're going to go over to European nation, right? So we're going to go the land of Epica, okay? You know, the Holographic Principle is their latest. You know, these guys, just fantastic vocals from Simone Simmons. You've got the dueling death metal growls, the symphonic keyboard-drenched arrangements, the heavy guitar riffs, the frantic drumming, epic arrangements, long songs, you know, bits of kind of neoclassical opera, death metal, you know, the whole 9 yards, symphonic power metal. It's all here. Some are calling this their greatest. I don't know, it's pretty damn good. And here's the band. That's what they're looking like today. I mean, a metal goddess, right? Of course she is. I dig it a lot. It's quite good. But then again, I'm of the opinion that these guys have never really made a bad album. So I'm sure for many, the latest from Epica is going to be high up there on their best of this. Okay, we're going to stick in the general Scandinavian place, okay? Specifically here, Gothenburg, Sweden. I really dig this a lot. I've had I wouldn't say problem, but I've kind of gotten a little bored with their last couple of releases, this band we're going to talk about. Not that they haven't been good, solid, but, you know, when you're talking about Dark Tranquility, there's a legacy there, right? This is one of the original melodic death metal bands from Gothenburg. They've done some timeless stuff over the years. The last couple albums, to me, were kind of like good, but a little something missing. Well, not here, folks. This latest is called Atoma. It is quite happening. You know, the band's mix of melodic death metal and a little bit of gothic flavored progressive rock, and you know, Michael Stanton's vocals are some of the best in the business. You know, he's got that gravelly, high-pitched growl. He's got some great clean vocals he adds in at times. There's lots of really cool keyboards on here, but more importantly, raging guitars, you know, just galloping rhythms, some heavy tunes on here, some more atmospheric stuff. This just kind of runs the gamut of everything this band has always done well. You know, there's the savage parts, there's the light parts, there's the melodic parts, a little bit of everything, all mixed into one. Again, and you know, there's a lot of really good stuff coming out here late in the year. This is going to be another one that's going to be very high up on people's best of list when 2016 kind of draws to a close, which it is very quickly. So again, Dark Tranquility, Atoma, Central Media Records. All right, we're going to go over to Season of Mist. This is a sophomore release from a band, U.S. band that when their debut came out a couple years ago, I was really, really impressed. This one is probably even better. It's called Anciients, Voice of the Void. It's their latest. You know, Opeth, the great Swedish extreme metal, progressive rock band, whatever you want to call them. They're more of a prog band now, right? They moved away from the extreme metal into just straight prog and hard rock waters. Well, there's been a lot of talk the last couple of years about who's going to kind of pick up the mantle, that progressive extreme metal mantle, now that Opeth has kind of moved into different areas. Well, these guys have to be at the top of everyone's list. I mean, this is just incredible, incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the mix of light and shade, really pummeling heavy death metal stuff mixed with like gorgeous atmospheric prog, acoustic guitars, and layers of vocals. And oh my god, this is really good. Long tunes, never boring though, never meandering. Really intricate guitar work. Really, really good. The vocals are outstanding. I can't recommend this highly enough. This is a band that, for my money, is on the verge of really, really making a splash. So if there's any band that I'm talking about today or at all this year, if you're into progressive extreme metal, you like your extreme metal, but you like it adventurous, with a little touch of prog, and you have not experienced Ancients yet, I highly recommend you go do so. Start with this one. It is fantastic. Again, Voice of the Void, Season of Mist records. All right, what else we got here? We got all sorts of stuff today. So here's another. We talked about Glenn Hughes earlier. Well, here's another kind of veteran singer. Been around for a long time. He's been in bands like Rainbow, Michael Schenker Group, Alcatraz, and Pelletary. Of course, we're talking about Graham Bonnet, right? The Book is his latest album. He's got a brand new band. He's got this hot Italian, I mean by playing hot, Italian guitar player. And I'm going to tell you who he is in a second. His name is, got to get the glasses for this, folks. Hold on. His name is Conrado Pessinato on guitars. Shredder. No other way to say it. He is really, really good. You got Jimmy Waldo, former Alcatraz mate, on keyboards. You've got on bass, Beth Amy Heavenstone. Not quite sure who that is. But on drums, none other than Mark Zonder, folks. Yeah, Mark Zonder from Fates Warning, ex-Fates Warning. Just a premier drummer in the progressive metal arena. Here doing, full-on hard rock and melodic rock with Graham Bonnet. There's pictures of the guys here. All right, there's Mr. Bonnet. There's your Italian stud on guitar. There's Beth on bass. What is that again? Oh, that's Jimmy Waldo. I almost didn't recognize him there for a second. And last but not least, Mr. Zonder. So we've got the first, it's a two-disc set. This is on Frontiers Records. First disc is a all-new concept album, all original material, rock solid. Again, Graham kind of draws on his experience in Rainbow and MSG. There's bits of kind of Deep Purple, Uriah Heep influence here. Very, very good melodic heavy rock. His vocals sound outstanding. Instrumentation is great. Sizzling guitar work, keyboards. I dig it a lot. The second disc is all re-recorded classics by the new band. So you've got old classics from Rainbow, MSG, Bonnet Solo, Alcatraz, and Pelletary. The whole gamut is here. So, Eyes of the World, All Night Long, Lost in Hollywood, Since You've Been Gone, Night Games, Assault Attack, Dancer, Desert Suns, Island in the Sun, Hiroshima Mon Amour. You get the picture. A whole bunch of there's like 16 of them. All sorts of good stuff. So, this is near and dear to me because I've always been a big Graham Bonnet fan. And though I've, watched a lot of YouTube videos of him over the last couple of years and some live stuff. And, sometimes he don't sound too good in a live setting, trying to hit the high notes of yesteryear. But in the studio, he still brings it good. So, check that out, the book. All right, from there, we're actually going to stay on Frontiers Records for the veteran Dutch band Pretty Maids. Their latest one is called Kingmaker. Dig it a lot. Heavy, crunchy guitars, boatloads of keyboards, soaring harmonies, mix of metal and melodic rock. I dig it. Top to bottom, just some really, really great songs. It's catchy. It's rocking. It's heavy. It's a touch proggy in spots. You know, these guys, their last three have just been fantastic. They've been around for a long time. But again, you know, When God Took a Day Off is the opener. It's killer. It'll suck you in immediately. So, you know, again, if you like your metal on the melodic side with plenty of keys and crunchy guitar and outstanding vocals and the songs catchy from start to finish, can't go wrong with this, folks. Investigate. All right, we're going to hop on over to Small Stone. So, yeah, Small Stone, that's a signal for 70s style, hard and heavy rock, right? This latest is from a band called Langfinger. It's called Cross Years. I dig it a lot. These guys, these youngsters, just focus in on that kind of mid-late 70s, early mid-70s hard rock scene. So you're thinking Purple, Zeppelin, Sabbath, Humble Pie, Cactus, Bad Company. You know the drill. Lots of great grooves, gritty, heavy blues rock guitar, powerful vocals. If you love that 70s sound, I recommend these guys. They're not getting enough press. Go out and check them out, support them. Langfinger, Cross Years, top to bottom, really good rockin' 70s style hard rock. So, speaking of the 70s, so there was this band back in the 70s. They actually were around till like the early 80s, then they kind of split up for a bunch of years, reformed under a slightly different name, you know, but anyway, they're back. Back in late 2014 or 2015, they decided to reform with a few of the original members, play a bunch of festivals. They released a live album from one of the festival recordings. They also put out like kind of like a best of collection with four new studio tracks. I am talking about the German-British conglomerate known as Lucifer's Friend. Too Late to Hate. Check out that album cover. Pretty cool. Is their brand new studio album. It's Dynamite. So of course you got John Lawton on lead vocals. John Lawton is known to many as the former lead singer of Ride Heat. Joined the band in the late 70s for a couple albums. He's done a lot of stuff since then. His voice still sounds tremendous. He is here alongside a couple of original members as well, a couple newer guys. And as you can expect, if you followed the band back in the day, this is just, you know, hard rocking music filled with gritty, crunchy guitar work, great keyboards, and Lawton's soaring vocals. What I like about this is it kind of draws from their earlier style, as well as their mid-late 70s style and the early 80s. So you've got this collision of early proto-metal meets prog meets kind of accessible AOR/melodic rock type of thing. So, you know, if you like any of the band's previous music, or if you like vintage Deep Purple, Uriah Heep, specifically Uriah Heep from the very early 80s, like the Abominable era, that's what you get here. You know, it's bluesy in spots, it's heavy in spots, it's hard rock, it's melodic. You know, like I said, Lawton sounds great. It's a welcome return from a band that I've dug for a long, long time, and there's been some talk that they might come over eventually here to the U.S. for some live shows. Let's hope so. So anyway, Too Late to Hate rounds out our new stuff for the day. Our last feature of the day is, of course, Forgotten Favorites, where we go into the vaults and pull out stuff that's near and dear to me, but maybe didn't get a lot of acclaim back in the day, whether it's back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s. Here's one that I was thinking about this morning. I love it to death. It doesn't get talked about as much as some of the other classics in their discography. I'm talking about UFO, Phenomena. You know, it's their first with Michael Schenker. It's got a couple classic tunes on it, but for some reason when most folks talk about the Schenker years in UFO, they look at Strangers in the Night or Lights Out or Obsession. Deservedly so. Those are instant classics. But I personally always have a soft spot for this one. It's a little bit different. They were just starting to kind of come into their own as a band of that lineup. But you know, you've got on here. I mean, first of all, you got Rock Bottom and Dr. Doctor, which everybody knows. They're the two staples from this album. But a lot of people just kind of forget about everything that's on here. I mean, it's like, you know, Oh My is great. Crystal Light. You got Space Child, the mighty Queen of the Deep, which is an undeserved. It is a forgotten classic amidst the UFO canon. I mean, that is one of my favorite tunes. Built for Comfort, another great tune, bluesy. Time on My Hands, Lipstick Traces, you know, Too Young to Go, sorry, Too Young to Know, all sorts of great stuff on here. You know, if you picked up kind of the remastered back in the 90s, got some extra tracks on here. You got 216, Oh My, Give Her the Gun, you know, some really cool bonus tracks that didn't make it to the album. You know, I dig this album. This is the band just starting to get to the peak of their powers. Schenker was just a teenager at the time, but he still sounds phenomenal here. Phil Mogg, awesome vocalist. You know, there's a mix of heavy stuff, some bluesy stuff, and some lighter things on here. I dig it. Just a classic 70s heavy rock album. UFO, phenomenal. If you don't have it, get it. For those of you who already have it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm, you know, preaching to the choir here. With that, we're going to leave you. It's been great. Another week of the greatest in heavy metal, all forms of metal, progressive rock, jazz, fusion, classic rock. As you know, we do it all. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you very, very soon for another quick rundown of some top releases. We've got some things from, oh boy, should I even spoil it? I'm not going to spoil it. We've got some stuff, a little more under the radar than some of the things we talked about today, but well worth you hearing about. And then we're going to get into the holiday stuff. So be safe, investigate all this new music, but don't forget the classics. See you next time.